Hola. Today we're going to pay attention to 10 common mistakes that beginner students, and not only beginners, make in Spanish. Number 1, probably the most common one, and is using the wrong gender. Especially at the beginning, you will not get all the genders right. And to make matters worse, there are exceptions to the rules of masculine and feminine. For instance, in the example la niño, it is wrong because niño is masculine, and we need to get the article in the masculine form, el niño, the boy. Remember that usually an O or OR ending is masculine and A or DAD ending is feminine. Number 2 is connected to the previous one, and the mistake is not changing the adjective to the feminine or plural form. For instance, in the example la niña alto, we have la niña, which is correct, but then the adjective should go to the feminine form as well, alta and not alto. Remember that adjectives take the gender of the noun. Number 3, the tendency is to conjugate all verbs in the same way, but remember that gustar is different. It takes the third person singular, gusta, or the third person plural, gustan. For instance, in the example, me gusto el chocolate, it is incorrect because we are using yo as the subject and therefore having gusto, but actually the subject here is el chocolate, third person, me gusta el chocolate. Number 4, when expressing a wish, we use the conditional form me gustaría rather than the statement me gusta. For instance, in the example, me gusta beber un café, what we want to say is I would like to drink a coffee, but instead we say I like to drink a coffee. To form the conditional, we just use me gustaría beber un café. This is something that we did not study in this course, the conditional verbs, but it is so common that a lot of students use it wrong. Number 5, preferir is often mistaken as a reflexive verb. However, we do not place any reflexive pronoun in front of it. In the example, me prefiero los perros a los gatos, we are using preferir as reflexive and adding me at the beginning of it. But actually, it should say prefiero los perros a los gatos. Number 6. When describing a place, it is common to confuse the verb ser and haber. If you want to talk about the existence of something, you use I. In the example, en mi barrio es un cine, it is wrong because we want to say that there is a cinema. En mi barrio hay un cine. Number 7. The rule says that after gustar, you cannot have a gerund, but an infinitive. For instance, in the example, me gusta jugando a tenis, jugando is a gerund. And that's okay in English, but in Spanish we need an infinitive. Me gusta jugar a tenis. Number 8. The rule also says that you do not conjugate two verbs together, only one of them. In the case of the near future, we always have the conjugation of ir, voy, vas, va, vamos, and so on, plus an infinitive. So in the example, voy a juego a tenis, we are conjugating both voy and juego. But instead, we need to conjugate ir, voy, and then use the infinitive, jugar, voy a jugar a tenis. Number 9, another classic mistake, and this is to place the negative particle no after the verb. In Spanish, however, no precedes the verb. In the example es no bueno, we are placing the no between the verb and the adjective, but it should be no es bueno, no before the verb. Number 10. In English, the expression it's okay is ubiquitous. Also in Spanish, however, We do not say es bien or es vale or es okay like in English, but instead we can say está bien, although there are other options depending on the country you're in, but the most common one is está bien.